I think that my new religion is defending these films. Welcome back everyone to another video here on this channel, Royal Horror, and welcome back to another video over my series Let's Talk About Horror Movie Duos. Happy Nun 2 release week, happy spooky season, happy October season, Halloween season, however you wanna call it. What a better way to kick off this season than with the release of The Nun 2. 5 years after the first film, we get to see Balak, Frenchie, and Sister Irene at the big screen, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. As you read by the title, what we're gonna do is I'm going to compare the first film from 2018 to the newest release from 2023. I'm gonna be comparing both films with aspects such as the characters, the cinematography, the storyline, villain, protagonist, climax, opening, basically how different and how similar are The Nun from 2018 to The Nun from 2023. And obviously I have to say that this video will contain spoilers from both films because honestly comparing two films is quite hard without giving any spoilers, and that's why I wanted to release this video a few days after The Nun 2 was released so more people could watch the film and maybe watch this video. So if you're a Conjuring fan, if you're a Nun fan, and if you're into this kind of videos, please stay tuned and I hope you enjoy. The Nun from 2018, Pray for Forgiveness. When a young nun at a cloistered abbey in Romania takes her own life, a priest with a haunted past and an novitiate on the threshold on her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate. Together they uncover the order's unholy secret, risking not only their lives but their faith and their very souls. So The Nun from 2018 was directed by Corin Hardy, and I think this is the only film that is like popular of his because he has only done like 6 films, counting The Nun, and the other 5 films are just like quite like hidden gems, you know, like hidden in the film. So he's not really that popular and he hasn't done anything since that film, maybe because of the popularity, who knows. This film, as we know, was written by James Wan, and we all know James Wan, but it was also written by Gary Doberman. I'm sorry if I pronounce his name wrongly, and we know him because he wrote the It films and the Annabelle films too with James Wan, some of them, but he's like the main writer of the It movies. The cinematographer from The Nun 2018 is someone that is really popular, but you might not know that person. That person is Maxim Alexandrov, and we know this cinematographer from films like The Hill Have Eyes, the remake, Mirrors, P2, The Craziest, also for non-horror films such as Shazam. So this cinematographer has been in the business for a long time. Right now The Nun stars on an IMDb rating of 5.3 out of 10, a Letterboxd rating of 2.0 out of 5, and on Rotten Tomatoes it stars on a 24% of reviewers and 35% on audience. Now, one of the most impressive facts about The Nun 2018 is that it had a budget of just $22 million, and worldwide it managed to make around $365 million. So this is like one of the richest horror films ever, because this film almost made $400 million. So that's huge. Obviously this is the movie, the richest film in the Conjuring universe. Like just imagine that difference. So this movie was making a lot of money. The Nun from 2018 won 2 different awards. The first awards will be, it won the best horror poster at the Golden Trailer Awards in 2019, which is like, okay, like yeah, like that's not a huge win for The Nun. And also it won, unfortunately, worst film of the year at the Hawaii Film Critics Society, winning. And I don't know how this movie won when Slenderman was also in that category. And also The Nun 2018 got nominated to the best costume design and best makeup at the Fright Meter Awards in 2018, but obviously it lost against the film of Suspiria, the remake. Now I couldn't find so many fun facts about this film, so I just managed to find 2 main fun facts. The main fun fact is that James Wan almost was the director of this film, but obviously he didn't do it because he was really busy directing the first Aquaman from DC. And that just makes me wonder that money can make a lot of stuff and money can change a person completely, because obviously if James Wan chose Aquaman over The Nun, obviously that's because of money, and respect for him because we all are looking for our own budget, we all take care of our own pocket, so respect. But it just makes me wonder, why would you choose to direct Aquaman instead of a film that is about a character that you created on your film from 2 years ago, which is The Conjuring 2? That just doesn't make sense for me, but again, respectable, because I know it was about money. And the other fun fact, and this is like quite impressive, because Emma Roberts, you heard me right, Emma Roberts almost got casted to be Sister Irene because of her acting in American Horror Story and all of that, but obviously she was really busy making other films during that era, so that's why they ended up giving the role to Tessa Farmiga. Now, just before we go into The Nun 2, my quick thoughts about the first Nun from 2018 is, honestly, I absolutely love this film. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of Balak. I'm a huge fan of this first film. Like I said in the intro of this video, I will always defend this film because I think it deserves way less hate than the hate that it receives. So one of the few aspects that I honestly like about this film is that The Nun does what it has to do. I think the storyline in the first Nun, it makes sense for the movie. Like, I don't know what people were expecting in this film, because what happens in The Nun, it gets solved in the Nun universe, if that makes sense. We have a nun that took her own life, so we have a priest and a student that wants to become a nun to go and solve this mystery. So this movie becomes like a whole mystery, but obviously they come across with this huge ass demon. Obviously we know that demon from The Conjuring 2, but this is like the origins of this demon. And I think it's absolutely iconic the way Balak gets introduced. This film has iconic lines such as "God ends here, not even God can help you, only prayer will get us through the night." So Balak is super iconic in this film. I think the characters in the first Nun, they work for the film. Honestly, the priest and Sister Irene, they work as a duo in this film to lead this film. Obviously I love the priest's background because he is like traumatized that he couldn't save a little child when he was being possessed. So obviously him treating a possessed case triggers him, and I think that was fantastic. Obviously I love Sister Irene because obviously she's not a real nun yet, so we're following someone that is like new in the business. So it makes you feel what she's feeling, like it makes you be in her shoes, even though you don't want to be a nun, or even if you're like anything, it makes you wonder what would she do, because she is new, just like you, just like the audience. And I think that was really clever. That was better than giving us a super professional nun or someone that has been in the business for years, like the priest. Obviously, one of the main things that I absolutely love about the first film is the cinematography and the set design. Huge respects for this film and for this crew, because they literally filmed all the way in Romania. They could have done this film in United States, because honestly you wouldn't tell, but they literally flew all the way to Romania. Everyone, the cast, the crew, everyone flew to Romania. And I think it pays off. I think this film is super spooky, super gothic. I love the vibes of the castle where they filmed the film. One of the things that I didn't like about this film, because obviously I gave this film 3.5 stars, so it's not a perfect film by any means. One of the things I personally don't like about it is the comedy in it. I think this film doesn't need any comedy at all, and I think it has a lot of jokes that are not needed. And honestly, Frenchie, I don't really like that character. I think his acting was not the best, so maybe he needed more direction. His lines, his dialogue was really cringy, especially because of the whole flirting with Sister Irene. That was so funny, and I'm not supposed to laugh. Also, one thing that I don't like about this film is the ending, and I think where this movie fails. And I think that's why this movie is 3.5 stars for me, because the ending is so cliche, so generic. Like, this film deserves a better ending. Balak deserves a better ending. Obviously we know Balak doesn't get defeated because she comes back in The Nun 2 and in The Conjuring 2, but the way this movie kicks Balak out of the film is horrible, and I think it's so dumb. The way Sister Irene has Jesus Christ blood on her mouth, she spits on Balak and Balak gets defeated. That was too much. Like, I think they could have done something else. They could have done something better than that, because that really looked so cringy. And one more thing that I forgot to mention is that I honestly love the reveal and the plot twist. I did not see that coming, where all of the nuns, all of them are dead, so it was Sister Irene alone all the time. I honestly didn't see that coming, and I always love seeing that plot twist coming because I think it was really clever the way they showed it, because they make you think everyone is alive, obviously they are not. So I think that combination was quite clever. Now that I finished talking about the first Nun, we're going to talk about The Nun 2 before we compare both films. The Nun 2 from 2023, the greatest evil in the Conjuring universe. 4 years after the events at the Abbey of St. Carta, Sister Irene returns once again and comes face to face with the demonic force Balak, the Nun. So The Nun 2 was directed by Michael Chaves, and you might know him for a film called The Conjuring 3 and The Curse of La Llorona. Honestly, this is the third film he has directed in the Conjuring universe, so glad for him because I know it's not easy, especially because of the amount of hate this poor guy has received with his previous 2 films. My thoughts of them, maybe we're gonna talk about them on my upcoming ranking of the Conjuring universe, but let me just say that I absolutely loved The Conjuring 3 and I absolutely don't love La Llorona, but we're gonna get to know that on my upcoming ranking. This film was written by Ian B. Goldberg, and we know him from films like The Autopsy of Jane Doe and Eli. And it was also written by Akela Cooper, and we know her from films like Megan, Malignant and Hellfest. Right now, The Nun 2, as up to this video, is standing on an IMDb rating of 6.0 out of 10, a Letterboxd rating of 2.5 out of 5, and in Rotten Tomatoes it is standing on a 45% reviewers and also on a 75% audience reviews. When I'm filming this video, The Nun had a budget of $38 million, so that was a huge upgrade from the first film. And up till this video, I'm filming this video like a few days after the first weekend of The Nun 2, it has made around $89 million. So that's already a huge difference. Like it's the double from what they had as a budget. So I think The Nun, maybe in the next 2 weekends, they're gonna make around $200 million, maybe $180 million. Obviously, they're not gonna make almost 400 as the first film, but they're not gonna go bankruptcy basically. So I have 3 fun facts, and the first fun fact is that this film is forbidden in the country of Lebanon due to the disrespect of religion. Also, the Narnia queen Anna Popplewell, sorry if I pronounce her name wrongly, this is her comeback into acting because she like retired from acting like 11 years ago, but she's back in The Nun 2. What can I say about The Nun 2? What can I say about The Nun 2? I absolutely love this film. Like, this film made me teary, like I cried after I finished the film because what a time to be a horror fan, what a time to be a Conjuring fan. I absolutely love this film and I will not stop defending it. I think this film is a huge upgrade from the first film, and I already defend the first film. One of the things that I love the most about this movie is the cinematography, because once again this film looks super gorgeous. One of the most beautiful films I've seen in the last 3 years, let's say. I absolutely love the kind of shots, some different scenes, like we all know the newspaper, the magazine scenes. That was absolutely phenomenal. That was incredible. That was super unique, super admirable, especially if you search info about how they did that scene. It took them forever. Like, this is the actual last scene they filmed during the production of it, because it took them just forever because it was all practical. I also loved how much we learned from Balak as an entity, because we know Balak is not a nun. Balak is a demon that takes form, that takes different shapes to torment different people, you know. So I love how much we learned about her as a demon and not as a nun. Because also I do think the characters in this film, they take a huge upgrade too, and also because we have so many characters in this film, especially because we have so many kids, and we know that kids in horror, especially in possessed films, they are not easy because the acting might take you out of the film, because maybe the acting is not the best, the screams are not the best and stuff. But all of the kids, all of the little girl and the little boy, they did a fantastic job. You really believe they are here, you really believe their fear. So we're gonna start comparing both films so we can talk more in depth about them, and we're gonna start with the opening, because I think both films have like an iconic opening. So when it comes to the opening of The Nun 2018, I absolutely love how we get introduced to Balak with the interaction between the two nuns, because we don't know anything, we just see them running away from a demon, we don't know what's going on. We even see when they go into this door and it says God ends here, and we see the nun, like Balak screams, her roars and all of that. I think that's super iconic, and I love how like the nun gets killed and then like the other sister, she just runs away. And I love that shot when when Balak is coming out of the corridor and the light starts to go off as she comes close, and obviously that's when we see the sister, like she like hits herself and all of that. So that whole sequence as an opening, I think is really effective, and I think it's really strong because it already shows us how strong Balak is. Meanwhile, the opening in the sequel, in The Nun 2, amazing, absolutely amazing. I have no words to how incredible this opening is. This opening takes place inside a church, so that's also different from the first film. And this film, it doesn't have sisters, it doesn't have anyone, it just has a priest and a little boy, like the boy that helps the priest in church and all of that. And this film is so clever with the sound design and the lighting, because we only have like yellows and oranges, and I think they work perfectly, especially the sound design, because we start to hear something, so we know something is wrong. And when this duo go to like the holy water in the church, we see how the holy water like does that, and I think that was incredible. And then we see Balak's shadow, and then we see Balak getting bigger, so it's like we know something is about to happen. And then we see how Balak puts into fire the priest. I think that was super iconic, that lighting effects on the kid's eyes. We see the priest in the sky screaming because he's being burned alive inside the church, because Balak is inside the church, so it's a whole contradiction between God and a demon. So super iconic. I think both openings of these films are incredible. So when it comes to the characters, when it comes to Sister Irene, I do think they are completely different characters, because in the first film, Sister Irene, you don't really get to know any much about her. We just know she is like studying to be a nun, but you don't really know why, because she's even not sure if she wants to do it, but then she is like sure, so you're quite confused with her. Like we don't know anything about her, like she just gets sent to Romania to solve this mystery, but we don't know much about her. We just know that she has this superpower where she gets to interact with like into the further, if that makes sense. So but yeah, she's interesting, she's an interesting character, but I think it's mostly because of the acting, because the writing of this character in the first film is not the strongest. Meanwhile, Sister Irene in the second movie, she is super iconic. Like so many stuff about the second film is iconic for me. Like Sister Irene in the second film, we get to know about her, we get to know that she really wants to be a nun. We really get to know like where did she develop this superpower, why does she want to be a nun. Like we get to know about her past, we get to know why Balak has been chasing her and stuff. So like you really grow with this character, and it makes you like be in her shoes. When it comes to Frenchie, which is like the other character that comes back, obviously, like I said before, I do not like Frenchie in the first film. I think he's super comedic, his lines are so cringy, he's so stupid, honestly. I don't like this character. I think the first nun, obviously Frenchie is needed because of the finale and stuff, but if Frenchie was not in this film, maybe it would have been better. Meanwhile, Frenchie in the second nun, he is really interesting because you get to know him as a possessed person. Obviously he doesn't know it, so he is like possessed and not possessed, so he's more interesting as a character. We get to know that he loves kids, like he can be a good dad. Obviously Frenchie as a possessed person is super iconic. The makeup on his face is amazing, the acting, like this actor really developed himself, so he has a better directing here. Like Michael Shapes really knows how to work with his crew, with his actors, especially with the little kids. And last but definitely not least, we're gonna talk about the icon herself, the mother herself, Balak. So Balak in the first film, honestly, she's super iconic. I absolutely love this character in the first film, you have no idea. I love the way like she is shaped, the way she's shot, the cinematography of her. Meanwhile, Balak in the second film, again, super iconic too, such a mother, like she's really mothering out there. I just love how much we learn about her as an entity and not as a nun. I love how badass she is. I love the way the movie portrays and tells that Balak can take any shape or any form to be evil. That's the thing that I love the most about Balak, is that she really feels like a threat. Like she really feels like pure evil. Like you really feel you're not safe no matter what you do, no matter if you pray, no matter if you don't pray, blah blah. Balak will come for you. And also, just one more thing that I want to say before we conclude this video is that I just love how much passion and love is behind these films. Like you can tell everyone involved in these films really loved making them, and you can tell that watching the film, because the way the movie looks, the way the movie is acted, performed, edited, like I just love how much passion was behind these two films. Just before we go, I just want to say that I wish people would respect more this kind of films, because I don't understand what people are expecting from a nun film. I honestly don't. Like, what are you expecting from this film? This film is doing what it has to do. It has the storyline that it has to have. It has the characters that it has to have. This film is about Balak and church and religion in a way and stuff, and the movie does that. So I just don't understand, you know, like it's not like we have Balak invading a whole city, or like we have Balak being an slasher killer, you know, like Balak is doing what it's supposed to do, you know. That was it. That was my comparison of the nun films. Thanks so much for watching. Maybe in the future I'm gonna do a Conjuring Universe ranking now that the Nun 2 is being released, and that the Conjuring 4 might come up any second, or like we might get news any second now. So I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section below if you have watched these films, and just let me know in the comment section below. I really hope you enjoyed. If you haven't watched The Nun 2 and you watched this video, and maybe this video makes you watch this movie, please go support this film, because at the end of the day we're having horror at the cinemas. So I will always appreciate watching any kind of horror. So please have a nice end of the week, please be safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.